Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, welcome back to our final segment of the show today. Inshallah, we'll be discussing Ramadan, the beginning of Ramadan, the end of Ramadan, and inshallah, what can the UK do to unite, inshallah, with regards to moon sighting. And inshallah, brothers and sisters, if you'd like to call in and ask us questions, do take the opportunity. We have two experts here, the resident Sheikh Sulaiman Gani and Brother Qamaruddin from IQRA UK, inshallah. So get your calls coming in, and inshallah, we're just going to start back on the issue of the beginning of Ramadan. As we've already heard from Saudi Arabia, it's been announced on Thursday. But inshallah, if you can go through in terms of the actual sighting and in terms of what tools we use to ensure that it's correct. So inshallah, if we bring up on the screen, inshallah, the visibility maps, and if you can explain what these visibility maps are and just quickly go through, inshallah, the maps. Inshallah.
Okay, so we are looking at the crescent visibility map for today, 16th June, and this is calculated from many hundreds of years of research, knowing the exact position of all the sun, moon, and the stars. This is rocket science. We can land a rocket on the moon, or we can land it on the Mars, and we know it by knowing the position. So on this map, the color code red means the moon is setting before the sun. So any countries under the top red part means the moon has set before the sun. It is impossible for the moon to be seen on that day in that location.
So it needs to be added that today in Saudi Arabia the moon set 9 minutes before sunset.
So because today, even though it's 29th of Shaban, the moon has set before the sun, that is why we know the Qura cannot start the date from tomorrow.
So they've established that themselves that they couldn't see.
We know in advance they will not accept any witness if anybody claimed it, because the Qura says that the moon is not on the horizon, therefore it cannot start tomorrow.
And that is their criteria.
Yes. So, and the purple one is, that's why the conjunction is the birth of the moon. Before any countries under the purple means the moon has not born, it's not gone through Waqtul Iqtiran. Okay, the first sighting possible is right in the west, but there is no.
So looking at,
so if you go to the next one. Next picture, we'll see now from tomorrow, not only the countries in Africa near UK, Morocco and Saudi Arabia should sight it, most of the world should easily see it. The green means easily sightable. So the beginning of the Ramadan is looking good, that we should all start the month united in one day. Now, Brother Abdul Alim, I want to point out that from the first sighting of the moon, the whole earth is covered within 24 hours. So everybody, if this 24-hour overlaps with 2 solar days, then there will be 2 days, but not in one country. So it is possible for Pakistan to start say 1 day later.
So Pakistan, Bangladesh, India will probably start 1 day later.
1 day later, it is possible. And but it is not possible to have a gap of 2 days, 48 hours, because the moon circulates the whole world within 24 hours. So if this happens, that means one of the location has made a mistake. So tomorrow, we should easily be able to sight the moon in a lot of the countries, although UK is on the borderline and we might have.
So it's important, this is very important to emphasize that Ramadan, why we coincide, why the whole world is celebrating tomorrow, because Saudi Arabia, they are completing
30 days.
30 days of Sha'ban, because the Qura pre-calculated calendar says moon set before sunset, not possible to be sighted. Here in the UK, like ulama who are following local sighting, as you can see, tomorrow is our 29th of Sha'ban. After sunset, we won't see the hilal on our horizon, but reports will come from countries in our east easily.
So just to clarify that, in terms of officially, it hasn't been announced in the UK from yourselves or with until tomorrow, if it's announced. Whereas Saudi Arabia, because they're completing 30 days, they've announced that. So they haven't announced a sighting, they've announced a non-sighting and completion of Sha'ban. So if we look at the next slide, inshallah, with regards to Eid, because this is where it gets very interesting, two Eids or not.
Okay. Just before I comment on the next slide, brother, so because we started together, some people in their lack of research or understanding will say, why you were together with us before and not at the end? It is the criteria that we are following, not because before we had a lot of love for you and afterward we have diminished it. No, we are trying to genuinely worship Allah sincerely, which is haqq, the truth.
So this is the map, inshallah, of what's coming towards the end of Ramadan.
Yes. So this is showing on 16th of July, and you can see the first from the red curve where it says moon set before the sun, but many of the countries in the Western Africa, including the Middle East, you will see it is a non-color zone. That means the moon is above the horizon just before the sunset, but it is behind the glare. It is not high enough for it to be visible.
Okay.
So it is not visible by human eye or even by telescope. So this is the case where it is in a clear zone. The first visibility is going to start from South America.
Okay, so
that is why on that day we will not get to receive any report on 16 July that the moon is sighted.
So just to understand, if for example a sighting was sighted in South America, would a verified and someone who with knowledge has cited it, what would that in turn mean for the countries on the east of it?
Okay, if I can answer that one. What the ulama have said is that we look for the moon on the 29th day of the lunar month on our own horizon, okay? And if we don't receive any news within a reasonable time, even say we wait until Isha time, and we don't receive it in from foreign countries, and that can only be from the east because their sunset is earlier, then we complete 30 days. If we were to wait for South America, it will not be until next day 4 o'clock or maybe...
So after Sahri?
Yes, after Sahri, possibly the sun has risen up.
Okay.
So this in fact called haraj, hardship. And Allah does not want us going through hardship. If you haven't sighted it and if you have not received within a reasonable time, which is between Maghrib and Isha is reasonable, then complete the month.
So
that's what the ulama decided.
The likelihood this year, inshallah, that the Ramadan, there'll be...
But it needs to be pointed out that when are we doing the sighting? Are we doing it on the 29th of the month of Ramadan? So that is where we need to know that in Saudi Arabia, on the next slide, 17 July, that is of important slide.
So if we check the next slide, inshallah.
So Saudi Arabia, we'll all look for it on the 16th, but we will not sight it, but there might be a claim in Saudi Arabia because the moon is following the sun. It is few minutes. So if anybody claims, they will accept it, but we cannot verify it.
So that's
but
what it means in Saudi Arabia, on the 16th July, the moon is on the horizon for 11 minutes. In Saudi Arabia, and that is the criteria that we need to understand. Qura calendar is as long as the moon is set after sunset, even if it's for 1 minute, somebody said they sighted it, they will declare it. So if you look at 16th of July, even though it is not possible to sight it, but it is on the horizon, and this is where we have the confusion.
Okay.
So this is all criteria, Brother Abdul Alim, that the moon setting few minutes after the sunset, they call it on the horizon.
Yeah.
But the requirement of Sharia is visibility of the moon, not being above the horizon.
Okay.
Because above the horizon is a mathematical.
So if we go back to the hadith, it says that you should sight the hilal.
Yes.
So the criteria, if we can see quite, because this hadith is sahih from Bukhari and from Muslim, that it has to be sighted, and this is the way it comes in, that actually you cannot sight it.
Yes. Yeah. Now this is only as a guide to help us look when and where. Okay. It is not replacing our sighting.
Okay. So can I just? So the question will come here for you. So in terms of the slides are now finished, but the question will come here now, Sheikh, and probably your best place to answer this. That the hadith has said about sighting, and now what you're saying here is that you're using calculation. So now, are we using calculation to sight the hilal? Are we saying we're using the calculation to accept that this is the beginning of the month?
Yes, Jazakallah khairan. You have raised a very important point, because when we come to the end of the month of Ramadan here in the UK, we have accurate, conclusive information that the moon will set 12 minutes before sunset. It's not on the horizon. In Saudi Arabia, it's on the horizon. So now, the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is in Bukhari and Muslim on the authority of Ibn Umar, that inna ummatun ummiya, we are an illiterate people, la naktubu wa la nahsubu, we don't write, we don't count. Ash-shahru wa hakadha, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam pointed that the month either is 29, marathon, he pointed saying it is 29 days or 30 days. So that is how the calculation, what it really means is that we only use, like Imam Subki rahimahullah says, we don't use it to establish the month, because the moon is on the horizon, like on the 29th of Ramadan, it will be set after sunset, but we're not replacing it by the sighting. We still have to go out to do the observation. But there are certain accurate sighting, like if the moon set before the sunset, it is not on the horizon. So we are only using it to reject the probable sightings and not to establish the month.
So the actual calculations are used to reject a sighting that someone said they possibly could see. So it's not used to establish, it's used to reject a sighting.
A probable sighting.
A probable sighting that it would happen. Okay, inshallah.
Can I comment? Sheikh mentioned one hadith that we are an unlettered ummah. We don't calculate or we don't account. Our month is 29 and 30 days. This was done at a time when the whole community was not literate. Now, some people are saying that this hadith is until the doomsday applicable on this issue, whereas others are saying this was for that community, but the community has been encouraged by the Quran, the first ayat, IQRA bismi, read in the name of your Lord with the mighty pen. So it encouraged people to read and write. And when the captives of Mecca was held in Medina, the Prophet ﷺ released them on the exchange for teaching read and write. So Islam encouraged, and a lot of Muslim scholars, by studying the Quran, they were inspired to study the heavens and the earth. So I personally feel this hadith is not applicable to keep us illiterate until the doomsday.
No, this is a general
if anybody,
also, not only personal opinion.
If anybody has an evidence to say that we should remain illiterate, I'd like to know.
Obviously, there's many hadiths where the Prophet ﷺ is encouraging us to read and encouraging us to learn, because obviously, the Prophet ﷺ had many Sahabas who he asked to write the Quran, write the revelation.
But some of the imams that I want to speak to, they present this hadith, say we don't want to know.
This is an issue of ikhtilaf.
This is ikhtilaf, isn't it?
Okay, inshallah, we've got some calls, inshallah. If we take some calls. So the first call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, your name and where you're calling from, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. My name is Mumtaz.
And so, brother, your name? Okay. Next call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hi, wa alaikum salam. My name is Abdul Ghaffar. I'm calling from South London, Norbury.
Norbury, inshallah. Your question, brother?
My question is one of the issues that we've faced in the past is basically a lot of the people who follow Saudi or do Eid or Ramadan, the beginning of Ramadan, based on when Saudi do it, is because of the sake of unity, right? So a lot of the people say we understand there's moon sighting data, everything that Brother Qamaruddin and Sheikh Sulaiman are presenting. We believe that it's correct in terms of the data. We know the moon can't be sighted. We know it's correct. However, for the sake of unity and to unite the whole of London or the whole of UK or whatever, we should still, even though we know it's not right, but for the sake of unity, we should still go with the one sighting, with one decision, so everybody can do Eid or the beginning of Ramadan on one day. Now, and a lot of these people who have made, I don't agree with that, by the way. I agree with doing what's right, even if it's not for the sake of unity, or even if you're in the minority, as long as you know it's right. But my opinion is neither here or there right now. So my question is for the sake of unity, in terms of Sharia, can we make this decision and can we do this? Because a lot of these people, they say that they've actually had, they've shown me fatwas from Mufti Taqi Osmani, for example, which actually says that yes, for the sake of unity, we can do this and unite, even if it's, against the data or against the decisions. That's my question.
Okay. No way. Sheikh, will you answer that question? Because this is the next
indeed. Point. The whole issue you are raising the point about unity. And this is where the confusion is, because, for example, we are explaining that if you know something is conclusive, something that is accurate, that you have no doubt in it, you are really uniting a people that way there is no doubt in it. And can you imagine that there are people who are going to come to the end of the month of Ramadan and they are in the state of many are in i'tikaf. And if we know that the Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said that the month is 29 or 30 days. So if the moon is not sighted on the 29th, then we have to complete the 30 days. So it is about leaving that where there is doubt to that where there is no doubt in it. So unity has to be established on something that is accurate, conclusive, no doubt, as this is a matter of ibadah. That is what I wanted to emphasize on.
Okay, so Sheikh, in terms of it fits right into what the next point was going to be. we just have another call, inshallah, so we'll take this call and we'll get back to her. Assalamu alaikum, where are you calling from? Your name and where you're calling from, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, your name and where you're calling from.
Wa alaikum salam, brother.
Yeah, your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Anis Joseph.
And yes, and your question, brother?
Well, I've got a few questions here. I don't know how many questions am I allowed to ask.
If you answer them quickly, ask them quickly, then I can take them down.
Simple. One of the things is that I'm led to believe that Morocco has got 272 sites from where they sight the moon.
Yeah.
Why is it that the ulamas just don't get together in this country and come to a decision and say, okay, fair enough, this is the most reliable site that we have got and the most reliable country from where we get all the evidence required from 272 sites. Unless we all get together and agree on that point and unite on that, then I don't think that we can go wrong. So what is stopping the ulamas to get together on this particular one rather than going on to following Saudi Arabia, where we know that there have been a number of occasions where they've made adjustments to their calendar. There have been a number of occasions where they've claimed the sighting where really there has been no evidence of it being sighted and so forth, where their own astronomers also disagree with them. So why don't we just unite with Morocco and agree on one point, and all ulamas can come onto one platform and resolve this issue once and for all?
Okay, your next question, brother, quickly. So
okay, my next question is that, is there anywhere in the Quran or the Hadith where we have orders to follow Saudi Arabia or any other country in this world?
Okay, any other questions?
Yes.
Yeah, one more.
Is there any Hadith which has set an example in the past where some news has come from some other part of the world and has been accepted either by the Holy Prophet ﷺ or by any of the Sahabas, and has this been practiced at any point?
Okay, so Jazakallah khairan. Sheikh, we have one more caller, inshallah, so we'll take all the questions at once, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, your name and where you're calling from, inshallah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Muhammad calling from London.
Yep, and your question, brother.
Yes, brother, could you explain again the permissibility of taking a witness or report from another country? I know here we obviously you've explained the hadith where it's got to be witnessed, and if not, you complete the 30 days of Sha'ban.
Yeah.
So why do we not do that? Why do we have to? Although I follow you, why do we have to go to Morocco if we cannot see it due to visibility? Then
why do we go?
Why do we have to? Can we not just complete the 30 days, even if that means completing the 6 months, as the Sheikh said, out of the 12 or 30 days? Why do we have to go into Morocco?
Okay, no problem. So we'll get on to maybe this question quickly first.
Can I answer one of the comments?
Yeah, if we answer this question first, inshallah. So the question quickly is, Sheikh, the permissibility of taking another country, why do we do that? Why not follow the hadith where it says that if you can't see it, then you complete 30 days? So in terms of the UK, forget any other country, why don't we just act upon just this hadith where it says we can't see it, we complete 30 days?
I think that was discussed in detail, and we don't have the time to go into so much detail, but it is about our location. Where we are in the UK, we don't have normal sighting for 12 months of the year. That is why for 6 months of the year, as Brother Qamaruddin explained, the Hilal is in the southern hemisphere, and our high latitude does not allow us to only restrict it to local sighting.
Yeah. Qamaruddin, if you
okay,
if you
first of all, if we were to do complete 30 days for 9 months of the year, we'll end up with a month having less than 29 days. So it is not normal. So there is a permissibility, like if there is no night at all or no day at all, for us to go to the neighboring location. One of the questions you discussed, unity and Mufti Taqi Usman. I looked at this fatwa back in 2008 probably, where the American wanted to abandon moon sighting and says let's follow Mecca. And Mufti Taqi Usmani explained why that was against Sharia. But then his last comment was that if in your community there will be a lot of fightings, fitna decision, and then in a non-Muslim country to
avoid this,
avoid that, then following that is permissible. At that time we were not aware about the factual information. So over the course of 10 years we have gone through a lot of education program. So now we no longer have this excuse that we should follow falsehood because
there's no evidence to say that you have to follow Makkah. Okay, there's no evidence from Quran, no from Sunnah. In fact, this is from the fatwa of even Sheikh bin Baz, and also whoever says that La asla lahu, there is no evidence, there is no basis, there is no dalil. So we cannot only say follow Saudi Arabia. There is no evidence
So
for that.
Sheikh, as we're coming near to the end of the show, if you can quickly, in terms of how can the UK move forward, how can we unite? If you can answer that quickly from in 2 minutes.
I mean, that was Brother Anis raised a good point about Morocco itself, because they have 278 locations and they do it every month, and it is a group sighting, and really it is all about understanding, yes, how far we can go, what is the matla, and this has been discussed with scholars in the past, how many witnesses that are required. The issue is that given that the knowledge of astronomy has advanced so much, so we said there should be a harmony between the ulama and the fuqaha and also the ulama al-falak. If we bring these two ilms, two science of knowledge together, where ulama and also the astronomers sit and then they come to an understanding, yes, this is the criteria, this is the way forward.
So Sheikh, if I can press you for in terms of what effort could the UK make, because at the moment obviously we have this divide in terms of what effort is needed from the UK. If you could just answer that quickly for me, Sheikh.
Well, the effort is ulama willing to engage, discuss, have come together, sit on a platform and come with a united criteria, but that criteria has to be based also on Quran and Sunnah. The moment we just unite for the sake of unity, that to say that these are so many masajid and this masjid and that one are doing it and they are following Saudi Arabia, you're never going to achieve unity. And that is why we say the basis has to be on actual naked eye sighting. That should be the main criteria. And when we take the reports, it has to be, we have to make sure that those countries are not known to be full of errors in their reports.
So last
quickly,
if I can, 30 seconds.
Okay, if I can quickly say that we have mentioned one location, but in terms of fake, I am sure Brother Sheikh Sulaiman will agree that any location from where we get reliable sighting, and reliable means it is possible to be sighted, and we have received information firsthand from the authority of that place. Now, if this happens tomorrow from Saudi Arabia, I am sure all of us will follow Saudi Arabia, and this is the purpose of our petition, which they can go and find online, that if Saudi Arabia improves, we will follow Saudi Arabia, we will follow Morocco, any location where there is possible to be sighted, and we have direct contact with the authority.
So I think that's a very good point, is ulama need to support that petition, because if the sightings are being corrected there, then inshallah it will automatically bring unity here in the UK, meaning in Saudi Arabia. So this petition to the Saudi authorities is really important also to support.
Okay. So Jazakumullah khairan, Sheikh and Brother Qamaruddin from ISO UK, because inshallah I think you've enlightened the viewers in terms of moon sighting and in terms of how important and the relevance of it is to Ramadan. So Jazakumullah khairan for your efforts today, inshallah. So brothers and sisters, today we have got a glimpse of why moon sighting is important and why that the actual fact of the hadith of the Prophet. So Jazakallah khairan, brothers and sisters, for staying with us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.